Hi, everybody. This is Amanda Wessler from My Race Pass, and I wanted to create a video for you guys to really show you how our new drag racing online driver registration works. I'm not quite to the point where I want to call it a tech card because there's actually no tech piece to it just yet. This first go round of driver registration is to get that information from the drivers about, what their name is, what their car is, the things that you would want to be on your announcer screen in a more digestible manner. So we know that filling out a tech card at the racetrack can be a little bit cumbersome, especially when the racers don't take the time to fill it out so that you can read what it says. Um, and then it becomes pointless because you're like, well, now I can't even put it in the timing system, or I have to put in what I think it says, which ends up not being what it says. There's just a lot of variable in that. So going to a digital format is super helpful because you don't have to worry about trying to read their handwriting because it's in text format. That's a lot easier to read. The other thing that I think it does is it allows people to feel prepared when they get to the racetrack and they are less hurried as they're getting there, especially for those racers that have to show up a little closer to eliminations than they'd like to. They can go on ahead of time and register when they have a spare 5 minutes, if that, to register, and then they know when they get there they don't have to fill out their tech card again or anything like that because they've already filled out the majority of it online. With these online registrations, obviously, it doesn't eliminate tech, it doesn't take tech away. People will still have to go to tech to be verified that they are able to race the race that day. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a demonstration of creating a registration and kind of the pieces that are to it that make it unique for drag racing as opposed to our oval registration that's been around for a very long time. So I'm using our test track here. This is our test track called Your Favorite Track. We do a lot of different test data in here. It's very much used in terms of what we create. So again, to begin making a registration, you're going to go to your season management. That's this little calendar here on the far left. You click on that and then you're going to go to registrations. Now you'll see that we have lots of registrations in here because we have played with this and created a lot of different demonstration registrations and all sorts of things. So the first thing I want to point out is you've got multiple types of registration to use when you are at your facility or for your facility. So if I go to add registration, you'll see that there are 4 different types. The first one is yearly registration. That registration, you can only have one of those every season per track. So I would consider using this as your point sign up. Have people go on and sign up for your points and either pay online through My Race Pass or they can pay you in person but still register online. That way, you don't have to find another space or another document or another paper form that they have to fill out. They can just do it on My Race Pass and it all gets uploaded into one nice convenient place based on class that you have running at your facility. The second type we have is the event registration. That would be like for your single day events. That would be for a points race or, like a big race that you have going. If you are going to do registrations for that, you could do it that way. I think of this more as being useful for your points races because we know that those racers who show up to every single one obviously will have to spend time filling out a tech card. Well, My Race Pass makes that a little bit simpler for you and for them. The next one is a general registration. This might be something you could use for your banquet. You could sell banquet tickets online and get a feel for how many people are coming, what kind of options they want, that kind of thing. You could also use this for a concert or anything that's really considered a non-racing event. The last one is miscellaneous competitor registration. This is just a general registration, but it is for racing competitors. So we have few people who use this for maybe like a non-member situation, like members versus non-members. And non-members have to use what's called a miscellaneous competition registration because they are not members, and so they may have a different pricing structure or whatever it might be. So there's lots of different. There's 4 different registration types. Like I said, the yearly I would use for your points registrations every season, at the beginning of every season or before the season, from your banquet to whenever after your first points race or whatever you have. And the event registration, I think, is the other important one. That's going to be for when you're wanting to do like a single race registration. Now, this is the one I'm going to show you today, the event registration. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click next. Here is where you're going to need to find a date. I say find, know a date from your schedule that you did want to do event registrations from. I'm going to have to kind of play around and see if I can find one because I don't remember what the date of mine is. If you give me a second, I will get that. All right, I found my event finally, so we're going to continue on. So again, there's two ways that you can type in the schedule of your event. You can do it by date or you can do it by event name. I'm going to show you both ways to show you they both come up no matter which way you use, but the first one is the date. So my event is on 5/22, 5/22, and you'll see that my event comes up, test event for registration. The other way is to actually start typing the title. So test event for registration comes up and I can then click on it. That way I know that this registration is going to be tied specifically to this event. Now I get to pick a title for this specific registration. I do not recommend that you pick a very basic title because if you use the same basic title for everything, that's going to be a problem because they're all going to show up as the exact same title and people are not going to notice what date it's for because the title is much bigger font than the date at which the event or the registration is attached to. So my recommendation is to put not only the date of your event in the title, but also a very specific title in your registration. So I put like 5/22 bracket or points race driver registration. So that's what I might put in it. 5/22/24. Make sure the whole date is there, I suppose. So that the racers look for, oh yeah, I'm looking for this date. It is a points race. You know, it's very specific to what type of registration it is. I would try to stick with the same formatting once you figure out what one you like. Stick with that same formatting of all of your registrations. That way, you know, people will recognize it and know what's happening. So at this point, there's a few more things on the screen, but we're going to talk very quickly through them because they don't really apply to us. Entry fee. This entry fee would be if I had a $20 entry fee that everybody had to pay. And then later we could add in individual entry fees or individual additional fees for the different classes. I don't really like that. Or I shouldn't say I don't really like that. Most racetracks don't do that. Drag strips anyways. Most drag strips don't have an entry fee and then on top of it, an additional fee for your driver. That'd be like if it was $10 to get in the gate, but an additional $15 to test and tune. So no matter who comes in the gate, it would be $10, but then it adds money to do the additional class. That additional money might be a little bit different depending on, you know, which class you're running. So in my opinion, I would personally leave that blank, leave your entry fee blank. Here's the open date. The open date is going to be today. You could do it on any open date. If you wanted to open it only a week before your event happened or whatever, you could do that too. The close date, I'm going to change this a little bit. Also note, please, that these are all central times. Everything we do is based on central time because that's where our company is located. So when you're putting in times, please be conscious of that it is on central time. So you don't have racers going, hey, I thought it was going to be open until noon and it's already closed. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to close this at, give me one second. Okay, so apparently I can't make this any later than midnight on this screen. I believe when we go to the other screen, we'll be able to change that to a different time. But again, keep conscious that this is central time so that you don't get caught in that weird land. Late fee, that's if after a certain date, like you're going to give people a break to register early. You can do that here, like it's $20 up until a certain date. And then the late fee starts applying after that date until the close date. So in this case, I set the late fee as March 27th. So a month after. So for a month, it's going to be a certain price and then the late fee will kick in after that if I wanted to do that. And then here's where you would put the late fee amount. Last box on here is super important. This is where you're going to get paid out or how you're going to get paid out, our payout type. There are two different payout types. So as you can see right here, they're written out for you, pretty detailed. Payout after the event. That means you are going to get your funds released to you after the event has taken place and is confirmed by you. So if anybody does online tickets, it's the same process as you would use for online tickets. Once the event happens, then you go in and confirm the event happened, or rain it out, or whatever it might be, change the status of the event type of thing on the registration, and then your funds will be paid out to you. Again, that's the pay after event. It's paid out after the event has taken place and confirmed by you. If you race and never confirm it, you will never get your money. So make sure you go back in there and confirm it once the event has happened. The other option is to pay out the week of the event. Again, this releases the funds to you for your confirmed registrants the Monday before the event. And I will show you how to confirm a registrant, so you will be able to see that. So again, this releases the funds for confirmed registrants on the Monday before the event happens. This is nice because you still should have the money in your bank account before the event happens if you need to use that money for payout or whatever it might be. So again, once you're done filling out what you want, I'm going to leave this as payout after the event. You're going to push add. Once you press add, it will take you to this screen, and I notice at the top, the first thing I see is this big red header that says, heads up, this registration is currently not marked as, is currently marked as inactive and not visible, to the public. So again, we'll fix that problem by going down here to this little button and selecting it and making it active. I am not going to do that, however, until I verify that everything on this page is correct, because as soon as I make this active, it will be available to the public. So again, once you confirm all the things on your registration, which I'll tell you how to do all that in a minute, you will have to select this active button right here in order for these registrations to show up on your website or your MRP profile. So again, up here are all the details of the event that you just put in. Again, that close date. Let me see if I can change it here. I believe I can. Yeah, see, now it's going in 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So here's where you can change that close date to a date later than midnight. So most places, you start racing eliminations around noon or 1. So I'm going to say 1 p.m. is when the registrations are going to close. So again, that's to update your close date. Here's where you can put additional information if you need to put more information about the race or, anything like that. You can do that there. Down here, if you keep scrolling down past that, you can see here are the classes that I have for my event. I have 6 classes. And I can put in different additional fees. Remember, we're going to keep this entry fee up here blank or at 0 because the overall entry fee is going to be 0, but each class is going to have a different price. So at my home track, this one is $50. Super Pro is $50. Junior, any junior class is $35, no matter what class you're running. And I honestly don't know what Sportsman is at my home track. I'm going to say it's 40. I honestly don't know. I don't race Sportsman class, so I'm not sure. And then Pro is the same price as Super Pro. So there I've updated my entry fee amounts for the different classes. Here's where you could put an additional late fee. Again, if you want to give people a break and say, hey, if you register before a certain date, it's only $45, but as soon as you do that, but if you wait till after that date, now it's going to be $50. So here's where you would put your additional late fee, which would be like $5. Like this would be $45, and then this would be $5. So that's all done. If you needed to add a download, let's say you had an event flyer or something you wanted to add it to the specific registration, you could do that, but you don't have to. Now I'm going to push save down here in the bottom right and make sure that my event information is correct. Okay. So once I check my stuff over again and make sure that it's correct, the last thing you'll want to do, and this red header should remind you of that, is to click this button that says active and push down here in the bottom right, push save again. Now this event is active, this registration is active on my website and or my MRP profile. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Right down here, it says online registration. If I click on that, it will bring me to my online registration piece. Here are the classes that I created. And I am not logged in as a person who has a profile already. So this is my new competitor option. If you wanted to see it on your actual website, over here to the left with the little arrowy guy in the corner, if you click on that, you can say open website. That will take you to your website if you have a website through My Race Pass. And here you can see where you would find driver registration. We have a button right here on our website. It's typically about where it's located on most of our MRP websites. driver registration, and you're going to click that button below it. It will take us to our registration page. Now this registration looks a little bit different than this one because this is the overall registration page. This has every registration that is active on our profile. So here's our yearly registration and some other event registrations that we have going on. And here's the one I created. Test event registration. Nope, take that back. That is not mine. Remember, I put the date on mine. Good thing, huh? So here's the one I created. 5/22/2024, or sorry, 24 points racer driver registration. So this is what your drivers would see if you had multiple registrations. Typically, the newest ones are at the bottom because it's in chronological order. So I'm going to push register as a driver, and then again, it brings me to that same page that I already had here. So this is what your drivers would see when they go to your registration page. So the next part of the video is I'm going to show you what it looks like if you have somebody who's registered for your event and how you go through the process of confirming them to make sure that you will get payment for them either a week before the event or after the event has happened. All right, now we're to a point where we need to confirm drivers. So once we've created the registration, we've put it out there for our racers to sign up. And once they start doing that, you'll start seeing on your registration page, so I'm back on the main registration page, that I can go over here on the left, and I can click on the registration that I am looking for. It will scroll you to that part of the page. And you can see that when you have drivers that need to be confirmed, they'll be sitting right here in this pending column. There's one pending registrant. That means somebody signed up for that class and you need to go in and confirm that you have all their information that they need, as well as their payment and all those good things. So this is how you're going to do that. You will not get paid on any driver registrations until you confirm them as racers. So they could sit there pending for the entire race, for the entire season, and you will never get paid out for them because you never confirmed them as drivers. So to confirm them, it's a pretty simple process. You're going to click on the class that you have pending registrations for, or you can click on View Registrants, and that will bring up this screen that has all of them. Now broken up by class. Now this is Super Pro, so this is the first one I'm going to go to. You can also, like I said, get to it by clicking on the class name. Either way is going to get you to this screen. The racers that need to be confirmed are going to be in yellow, and you're going to see this big bluish colored confirm button over on the right hand side. So when you get to a racer that you would like to confirm, you're going to push this confirm button. It will bring up this screen. If they do not have a competitor profile, there will be nothing in this competitor spot. It will say nothing. At which point you will have to create a driver profile for them. I can show you how to do that in a different video, but you will create them for them. Once you've created a driver profile the first time, you'll never have to create one for that same driver ever again because they will already be in the MyRacePass system. So that is why my name is already showing up here, because I already have a MyRacePass profile. So I have my name here. Then I'm going to put in, I have to verify my car number. Now this process may change, but for now, you need to verify their car number. This would come up when you're confirming them. You would confirm them potentially when they got to the gate and or when they got to tech. Or you can do this ahead of time, like if it's for point sign up, you'll have to do that ahead of time, obviously. But this is what your screen looks like no matter when you're going to be confirming them. So to confirm them, again, you're going to have a competitor here, and you would have to create a competitor profile if one did not exist. Again, I will show you how to do that in a different video. And then you'll also have to put in a car number. Now, luckily for us, they provide us a car number right here on the left-hand side of the screen, 3X1B. That's the number I'm going to put in here because that is their competition number or their competitor number, probably issued by whatever sanctioning body your track runs with. So we're going to put that number in there. If everything looks okay, it says the owner, the competitor is the owner. That means she or I own my own car and it's not owned by a company or anything else. So, or any other person. So once I have typed in the number, again, given to you by the racer, you can either verify with them in person because of most of the time you'll be confirming these drivers when they're in front of you. You can say, okay, sir, what's your car number? They tell you, you look and see what they registered with, and then you type it in this box. Once you've done those things, I would never click this allow duplicate entries. That just means you can use the same car number twice, not the same driver twice. It's a completely different issue than double entries like you would think of in drag racing. And then has all forms. This might be used if you had certain forms that you need to collect from them before they could start racing, or if you were a sanctioning body and you wanted to use that for that reason. So again, once you type their car number in, you push confirm. Now, whenever you're supposed to get paid out for this, you will get paid out for this, whether it be a week prior to the event or after the event has happened, whatever it might be, you will now get paid for this person because you confirmed their entry. You can also click this and say confirm or refund registration. It brings you to this screen. It says type either complete or refund right here. That way you don't have to go through every person individually to change that. You can do it one time, especially if you are going to get paid out after the event happens. This is what you're going to have to do. You're either going to have to complete or refund it. Notice there will send you a verification code to type in this box so that it knows that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. It says, I confirm the selected payout status. So again, this is if you are going to get paid out after the event happens. Again, you are not going to do this if you're getting paid out ahead of time, but you are going to put in here complete or refund, and that will tell us what we need to do with those funds, whether to send them on to you as the racetrack or send them back to the competitors. Okay. So now let's say I completed mine. Now I want to go to the other class that I had one in, the junior advanced class. You can see Bo here. Bo actually has a profile with a profile picture. You'll also need to confirm him. So confirm. Again, double check the information. Yes, there's a competitor name here. Again, if not, you need to type it in there. And if it doesn't exist, you need to create a profile for them. Team name, this is important if they have a team, like over here, the owner information is Wessler Motorsports. If a team has been created in My Race Pass, then you'll be able to find it. I always click over here to all owners, and I start typing in whatever owner information is. Wessler Motorsports, see, it's gonna come up. I'm gonna click that, and see I have 3 of them that were attached to it. I'm gonna put it on Bo because that's his car number. You could also leave this blank. Let's say you weren't sure. You're like, heck, I don't know. I can push this X, and I can leave that blank as well. For car number, again, they provided a number, or you can ask him, okay, what is the car number? 370X, perfect. And then, again, those 2 same check boxes and confirm. So now, it's taking a while to confirm it. Give me 1 second. So now that Bo is confirmed, he is now white instead of being yellow, and he is all set and ready to be in this race. So if I go back to registrations and I go down to the registration I'm looking at, now you can see that I have no pending registrations, but I have 2 confirmed, 1 confirmed in Super Pro and 1 confirmed as Junior Advanced. Those 2 racers are confirmed. I will get paid out for those racers at whatever point I'm supposed to get paid out. So that's how you get racer registrations created and also confirmed so that you get your pay for those entries. So that's just a quick synopsis of our new registration system from the drag racing perspective, from the track perspective of drag racing. I'm also going to create some videos on what it would look like for a driver, just so you have some experience with what they will also be experiencing. Again, the initial time, the first time that they actually do this, it may be a little more cumbersome or time consuming because they do not have accounts on My Race Pass yet. They don't have driver profiles on My Race Pass yet, more than likely. So they'll have to do all of that first. But if you're a track that has been doing entries and or has been doing manual entry for all your drivers, this will not be any more difficult than what you've already done for them. So again, I would love to talk to each one of you independently about how I think this would work for you and why I think it's a great idea to give it a try. So yeah, I look forward to talking to all of you soon.